Wendy Smith Cole and Mark Cole worked for Security Transport Services. Wendy for about a year and Mark for just a few weeks. They were paid $9.25 an hour to drive dangerous criminals and mental health patients across the country in these vans.
I have transported personally murderers, rapists, child molesters.
The company located in South Topeka made national headlines after 2 murder suspects escaped from their custody last year in Utah. Law enforcement and hospitals across the United States hire STS to take prisoners and mental health patients from state to state. Now, former employees tell Fox 43 News they weren't prepared to be behind the wheel.
There is no training process. What my training process was they gave us a booklet of the statutes and stuff.
And you ask questions if you knew it, and I've asked questions, and I get 2 different answers or 3 different answers depending on who I was riding with that time.
We've been reaching out to the owner of STS, Tom Bowman, for months now to verify the claims. He answered our call this week, but wasn't available to be interviewed on camera. He told us the most recent escape had nothing to do with training. It was due to complacent drivers. So we asked him what happened to those drivers. He says they still work for him. Those drivers were taking murder suspects Blaine and Susan Barksdale from New York to Arizona when they overpowered the company's guards in Utah. The suspects got away after convincing the drivers to pull over on the side of the road. An internal review by the Pima County Sheriff's Office in Arizona shows the STS drivers were at fault for improperly detaining the prisoners. The 2 were on the loose for 16 days.
All right, they've got hands on them now.
Before U.S. Marshals found the couple hiding in Arizona.
Were you surprised that the Barksdales escaped, the 2 latest
No.
couple?
No.
Why?
Because he's had 2 or 3 other escapes. We had the one down in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where the guy got a hold of his gun because the driver's gun because he pulled over to the side of the road and took him out of the van. Not at a gas station, not at a sheriff's office, not at anything. So. No, I wasn't surprised.
The Barksdales' escape wasn't the first problem for the Topeka company. In 2018, the Albuquerque Journal reported a prisoner escaped from a van in New Mexico after getting a handcuff key from inside the van.
The way the vans are set up, they have cages and they have locks, but on certain locks, you know, the inmates can stick their hand through and unlock it, you know, if they, not watching.
The Lawrence Journal-World reported a convicted sex offender escaped from STS in Lawrence in 2012. He was caught the next day. Our archives say in 2011, a prisoner escaped by stealing the transport vehicle in the Topeka area. He was arrested 2 weeks later in Denver and has since been convicted of killing his 5-month-old son. Idaho News reports another prisoner ran off while stopping to use the bathroom in Idaho. Wendy says that's another red flag.
We were told that we need to stop at police stations or sheriff's offices or county jails to let the guys go to the bathroom. The owner was like, as long as it's a rest stop and, you're both there, we don't care.
Jenna's Act regulates transport companies. It says bathroom breaks are supposed to be scheduled, and the city's law enforcement where the stop is being made needs a 24-hour notice. Other requirements include background checks, 100 hours of training, not driving alone, and not spending more than 15 hours on the road at a time. Wendy and Mark say that's not always how it goes.
Out, and God knows where, and God knows who, and who I'm picking up and what's going on.
We dug through dozens of pages of travel logs that we got from Wendy, some showing 17 and 18-hour travel days. And when we asked the owner of STS about this 19-hour travel day logged by Wendy, he said that was a breach of policy, blaming Wendy for not stopping. So what kept them going back to work every day?
I have a 9-year-old grandson, and I don't want these people on the street. And that's what kept me going back.
But is that enough to keep them going back?
I stopped putting myself available for driving for the company. I don't want to put anybody else's life at risk because of lack of training. Yeah, it's a needed service, but you got to provide all the training.
STS has been operating out of Topeka for the last 30 years. And when we went to the office, we found a letter that was telling employees that was posted right on the front door. The letter addressed to employees complaints from hospitals, prisons, law enforcement, and for policy violations. It also states that it's directed at some of their employees who are creating these bad reputations for the company. So when I talked to owner Tom Bowman about all of the claims from these former employees, he says there's a lot of good people who work for him, but he's also had bad employees as well who don't follow the protocol. I posted this letter for you and broken down Jenna's Act on our website at fox43topeka.com.